Hello, welcome to the Cigar Professor. If I seem a little emotional, it's because all of my dreams have just come true. I I the English language does not have words to express just how incredibly happy I am right now. And it's just overwhelming. You see, when I pulled out this cigar, the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Sobremesa short torpedo that we're sharing tonight, I had a good look because it's a beautiful wrapper, beautiful toothy wrapper. And as I was turning it, I saw a little speck of light reflect off the surface of the cigar. And I kept turning it and I saw more. And there's got to be at least 10 or 15 specks of genuine plume. I mean, the real, we dealt with this in pack 2, right? There's a difference between plume and mold. And a lot of what gets called plume is actually mold. Real plume is sparkly and it's there on this cigar. And you might be wondering why I'm so incredibly excited about plume. Well, the plume is one thing, but what this proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that Professor Damo actually loves me. He actually cares. And all this time, I thought he was just going through the cigars and finding the crap ones and sending me all the crap ones. And I've got genuine plume on my cigar. So for the first time in my life, I'm actually happy to invite and welcome onto the show Professor Damo. What happened? Was this a mistake? Was there a clerical error? Did you send me the one that was meant to go to Omar? What happened?
Well, mine doesn't have any plume on it, so I must have sent mine to you.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm looking at a speck right now. It's reflecting off this light I've got here. Like, there is plume on this cigar. I'm borderline speechless, except that that's not physically possible for me. So, Stuart, I have glitter too. Now, Stuart, in your case, are you sure that's not just your girls were playing with glitter and some got stuck on the cigar? Just maybe double check, right? Because that other stuff you probably don't want to smoke that. Good evening, Facebook user. I got to say, I'm quite optimistic about what effect a little bit of age may have had on this cigar.
So am I. The one thing that I do have is if you hold your wrapper in front of a white screen, there's definitely a nice yellow tint coming in on the wrapper. So these have been aging quite nicely for the time that I've had them.
The beginning of it. And look, not everything can age nicely. Speaking of things that aren't aging very well at all, let's welcome Professor Omar onto the show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Topher?
Doing very well. I love that we've gone in beard order today.
So you mean man, almost a man?
No. What I mean is a face that doesn't need to be covered because it's beautiful enough as it is. And then the rest. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. But this was always going to be a cigar that was going to age well. It's that type of tobacco. It's a little bit oilier. It's got that lovely sort of toothiness, the texture, almost that light sort of sandpaper. Omar?
Yes.
What was that?
Nothing.
You definitely just took a puff on it. Did you start without us?
No. I got my cigar here.
Right. So you brought a different. You've already started on a different cigar. Okay. Did you bring enough for everybody?
Yes.
It's class rules. If you bring it, you got to bring enough for everybody.
Yes, I have. I have plenty of cigars.
All right. Well, I look forward to receiving that from you in due course. I just love now Professor Damo is on the hunt for some plume on his own cigar.
I have one speck. One.
Yeah. Like, surely just I haven't shortchanged myself that badly.
Well, I got one.
But I'm not imagining it. Yeah, I'm not imagining it, though. There is definitely plume on this cigar.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Well,
Simon has obviously been watching Omar.
Since the cigar's so good, we better light it up. And
yeah, we better.
Now, I'm using my perfect cutter, which means I'm probably going to have to take a couple of bites at this cigar to get enough off.
Yep. Same.
So,
but that's better than cutting too much.
That's right. So that first one is definitely not going to be enough. I'm going to do a second one. No, still not enough. I'll do a third.
I've just done 2, and I reckon that's actually enough on mine.
3 is the sweet spot for me, and I've still got room that if I need to later on, I can probably take another one off as well. So,
yeah. So Stuart reckons his looks like a Christmas tree. So Stuart is the favored child for this particular cigar, obviously. But Daniel's gotten in on the investigations. Looking at mine now under a fluoro light, there's about 6 or 7 flecks reflecting light. Okay, so log that in your memory. That is what real plume looks like. And when people who don't know what they're talking about try and sell you a cigar that's covered in mold and call it plume, remember this moment.
Stuart, just let me know if your package arrived. So,
okay.
I assume that it got to you by now, but if not, definitely reach out to me.
Now, Simon is exactly right here. One of the beautiful things about torpedoes is that you can control the size of the aperture here and adjust it to your liking. However, because often you do smoke it with a relatively narrow opening on a relatively thick gauge cigar, they are a bit more prone to tar. So you're absolutely right, Simon. I would expect, in fact, that at some point over this cigar, I'm going to need to trim it.
So I've got about 3 inches between my lighter and the cigar, and as you can see, it's possibly not. Hang on. I'm not actually touching it, and it's getting some glow to it. So this is one you definitely want to light up nice and slow.
It's one of the other reasons why I really like the single burner. Even on a thick gauge cigar like this, it takes longer, and that's a good thing. Got to keep moving it around, spread the flame around, and that just means overall you're just warming it all up that little bit slower, and the slower the better.
Oh, wow. Oh, why can't every cigar be that, just that, and nothing else but that?
Wow, that's mild. That's really mild.
Very, very soft bread, little bit of toastiness to it, very faint baked spice, nice cinnamon on the follow through.
And also the icing sugar on the top, the light icing sugar on the top. That's what I got. Everything you described plus the icing sugar.
Oh, that
and
second
got
light.
A ring. That's got a ring right off the cup, straight at the camera.
Yeah. I had to do a second
You've
light.
You've never had a cigar that good. Admit it.
I've got to tell you, you've been raving about these, Damo, and I like them, but I didn't quite get why you were so impressed with them. But with this extra age, because I've not had one for a while, with this extra age, this has absolutely come into its own. If I lit this up blindfolded and you told me it was a Connecticut, I'd believe you.
Oh my goodness. Well, without a shadow of doubt, this is the best cigar I've had this year. The good thing about the Dumbarton cigars, they generally do have a journey in them, and they usually do ramp up in intensity as we get along. So it's not going to be like this the whole way through. I'm expecting to get more boldness as we progress through the cigar, but my goodness. In other words, if every cigar was like that right on the light up, I'd be a very happy man.
Shipping update from Stuart. And then Daniel's got some advice for Omar. No, you're not quite right there, Daniel. He thought it was the fuse to his explosive vest.
Oh, even the retro on that is delightful.
Not much smoke, though.
Yeah, a little bit light on the smoke production. I agree.
Not much smoke. Very light on smoke. Boys, I'm telling you today that I won't be able to hold my ash today. It's really windy outside. Really. It's almost like a thunderstorm here.
We had a front come through last night. Yesterday it was stinking hot. Yeah, well, not stinking hot. It was 37 degrees yesterday, pretty hot. And then we had a storm front come through. And I sat on my back porch and watched the lightning roll through and smoked a cigar. And,
nice.
It's the best atmosphere to have a cigar in, I reckon, is when there's a lightning storm on. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's actually my favorite time to go in the swimming pool.
Mm.
Nobody else wants to be in there, and you just sort of looking up and lightning and rain and
people are like, but you're going to get wet. Yes, I'm in the pool.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is a lovely, lovely opening.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Lots of smoke rings in this too.
I would say I never had a bad Dunbarton cigar. Had a few with Demo as well. Had some in the States. I think the only criticism I had of them was that they're a little bit overpriced. But generally speaking, they are very, very good. Very, very good. What's for the drinks, boys? What's going on in that department?
I have a black iced tea tonight.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
All right, guys, we're going to do some troubleshooting here. Stuart's got a tight draw, no smoke coming through. So first thing I would try doing, Stuart, is just make sure you've actually cut something off the end, because if it's still closed, that would explain that. But in all seriousness, just maybe try snipping it a little bit further along to try and get it to breathe a little bit better. And
Stuart, if you have a V-cut, try that. That sometimes does wonders in the torpedoes.
And the other thing is too, just gently roll the cigar between your fingers. And if you find a spot that's a little bit hard, just roll it back and forward and massage that spot. It could be a twist in the leaves inside the...
Yes. And Stuart, I would say this, that I've learned this. There's a YouTube channel. Well, we do quite a good education, but apart from that, there's a YouTube video where Demo is doing that to Uncle Nick, some part of Uncle Nick. So that is explained perfectly what he said. You can watch that video at a different time, but.
Yeah, and Omar actually has that set in his phone. He downloaded a special app where your alarm could be a video. And so he gets woken up every morning to that video.
Yes.
Loves it. That's why it's got so many views.
Yes.
Not a lot of aroma. It's pleasant, but it's not strong.
No.
Yeah, not on the foot smoke.
Yeah.
Very basic foot smoke.
Yeah.
Gee, 74 is a little bit on the high side for the run and the Humiat.
Yeah, I'd reckon.
Simon.
Yeah, 74 is a little bit high.
Running high humidities does age the tobacco quicker.
A little bit more temperature can also do the same thing, especially the two of them together.
Yep.
That's a
Just be careful if you're doing that to Cubans, because you'll hit the magic tobacco beetle breeding range, and then you're stuffed.
Yeah.
There's a muskiness in there as well, which is quite typical with aged tobacco. Almost like, those pink musk lifesavers.
Yeah. Or the actual sticks, the little hexagonal sticks that you get at the corner store. Yeah. Yeah, Simon, I don't know, it'd be probably over a year, probably a year and a half ago now, I switched from the 69% packs to the 65% packs. And it runs typically 67, 68% with the 65 packs in there. And I've been much happy with my cigars since.
A little bit of soft leather on the retro.
Simon.
Maybe also coffee on the retro as well.
Stuart's still having some challenges, are you? You don't have a perfect draw tool yet, I don't think. Because that's
it's in his package.
Oh, is it? The one that he's got the jolly notification for. This is the moment where you need that, buddy. A toothpick can help a little bit. You know, it's certainly not nearly as good, but that can sometimes open it up a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Well, we won't have Tim giving me a hard time on the live stream tonight. I took care of him. He popped around today, and I made sure that he didn't leave until it was much too late. He's not going to get home until we're nearly done, you know, strategically, just so that he couldn't give me a hard time. Yeah, that sucks, Stuart. Sorry to hear it. Bad timing. Bad timing. And so much promise with all the jolly plume on the wrapper as well.
Yeah.
What you could do is cut it back so that there's no charred ash. Put it in one of the Ziploc bags that we've supplied cigars to in the past with nothing else in it, and basically pick it up tomorrow when you've got your perfect drawer and give it a go then.
Yeah. Don't try and do that on
a cigar once you've lit it, particularly this early on, as long as you cut, you'll need to cut into clean tobacco. So if you cut a bit and it's a bit crispy and charred, you'll need to go a little bit further. So you will lose probably about just as much as what you've smoked so far. But it should be all right to sit on till tomorrow. You could probably do 24 hours on it if you think you're going to get your perfect draw tomorrow.
Stuart, I don't even know what's on tomorrow. What's on tomorrow?
Mind you, Omar picks up nubs out of ashtrays that have been sitting there for who knows how long. So, and haven't even been put back in a bag and humidified. So
I've seen him fighting the seagulls for them.
Mm.
Daniel's been able to place the soft leather. Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. Let me remind myself of that because I didn't get my PA to diarize that for me. And I think I've booked in an interview with Senator where is it? Senator Babbitt. Let me just see. Hang on. (1:30 p.m.) If I can wrap up with Senator Babbitt tomorrow quickly enough, I'll still be able to make it. I do apologise. I forgot to get that into my diary, and then my PA, who looks after my diary, and I'm supposed to tell her all of these things, and I didn't, has booked in an interview with Senator Babbitt. I'll see what I can do.
That is a really gorgeous soft leather. Wow. I think the conversation that we're having says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Riveting viewing, everybody. Oh, Stuart's had a breakthrough. Cigar fixed.
Cool.
I think he threw it on the floor and stomped on it. Sam, welcome.
Hi, Sam.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
I think I'm getting a little bit of a dark fruitiness to it.
It was fleeting, but there was earlier a little bit of it was in the really, really dark fermented end of the sort of the dried fruit range.
Yep.
Like that Christmas
I thought it was very currant-like.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
but
currant.
like even more so in that flavor, but really, really and it was just fleeting for me, but I think it might start to become more noticeable as we go on. There you go. Turns out incense sticks are good for something after all. If you don't have a perfect draw handy, shove it up the date with an incense stick.
Wonder whether Stuart will pick up notes of sandalwood and jasmine.
If it went for what it would do to the flavor, I have this weird fantasy, I guess it'd be called, of having a sparkler down the middle of a cheap cigar. Obviously, you wouldn't do it to an expensive one. And just I don't know. I just like what happens. I don't know, because a sparkler doesn't.
Well, I can send both of those to you, and you can find out.
as long as I do it on camera, so you can submit it
That's
to
right.
the Funniest Home Videos.
That's it. Definitely won't taste the best.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I wouldn't do it. Sorry to be boring, mate, but I'm just on black tea tonight.
Yeah, it was a 30-degree day today in Sydney. We still haven't broken our 30-degree
Black
record.
It is.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
This is actually giving me optimism that my belief that we're still got more flooding coming this year is on the money. And also it's giving me more confidence that we are heading towards global cooling, not global warming.
Still very early to say, but I share your view. Certainly, La Nina is not dissipating the way they expected it to. That seems like it's determined to hang around for a fourth year, which would make it pretty unusual. But with where we're at with the solar cycles, etc., I tend to be of the opinion that we're heading back more to the weather we had in the years 1900 to 1950. A little bit wetter, a little bit cooler.
I made the prediction that if we didn't get a heat wave before Australia Day, where we got a few days of high 30s, low 40s,
Yeah.
that it was going to be very likely that we're going to see more wet weather.
Yeah.
The first half of this year and more flooding.
Well, Australia Day is what? Still, it's a week and a half away.
And the forecast at the moment is not for anything close to those temperatures before then.
Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting. Well, we shall see. How's
Yeah,
your
I get
burn?
that clove note. The foot smoke's become a little bit more floral as well.
A little bit more aromatic. Yeah, it's picked up a little bit. So Stuart is about an hour north of Melbourne, up in the hills. It's heater weather here.
Cool.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's what makes it heater weather. Wow, I have to explain the obvious these days.
Yeah.
We just got some rain blowing in.
Yeah, I got a lot of rain. I got a bit of thunder.
You can't hear that rain on the microphone with me, can you?
Only a little. It sounds better than you ever will, so we'll tolerate it. Yeah, Stuart, you're spot on. You can tell who wasn't homeschooled. I thought it was funny, Stuart. I guess the other guys just weren't well enough educated to get it. I'm pretty sure I'm smoking this way too fast, but I'm just like really, really enjoying it.
Oh,
I'm pretty fast. Mine is.
gorgeous burn.
Yeah, great burn.
I'm in the same boat as you. The flavors are just so wonderful. I just want to keep going back. I don't want to stop tasting the flavors.
Yeah, yeah. But then you ruin the flavors by smoking it too fast. So, go man, Sam, how are you?
Hey, mate.
So I got some bad news, Stuart. I'm pretty sure that's user error, just like Omar's.
Rain is hitting me. Actually, I might have to move.
Oh no. Daniel shares a story. When I was at TAFE at age 17, we used to get the gunpowder charge out of a 22 cartridge into the end of a cigarette to give to the scabs. They would take one drag, and on the second drag, it would go up like a sparkler.
We had done it. We used to put little firecrackers in the cigarettes and give it to people. Bad. Those little things.
My a mate of mine lived across the road from me when I was growing up. He was a bit older than me. His dad had fought in the Vietnam War and was, in hindsight, I can now recognize it was PTSD. He was just an angry man, but didn't have context for it at the time. And so, what does my mate do? Bright spark that he was. He decides to get him an exploding golf ball as a prank, because they used to play golf together. And so, halfway through a round of 18 holes, he just swaps out the balls. And his dad tees off, and the ball goes bang. And he said he thought his dad was going to literally kill him. Like he just flipped. So yeah, just be careful. Sometimes it can backfire. Simon, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear it, mate.
Simon, something you could probably do is dry box your sticks before you smoke them while you're running a high humidity like that. And that will probably help you improve
drop
any
it down
other
a little bit.
sticks you want to smoke before you get your humidity under control.
Yeah.
The other thing you could probably do is put the cigar down and just let it sit for half hour to an hour, and then clean the ash off and light up again. See if that's any better, because you got a bit of warmth in it now, and
Yeah.
being out of the humidor should drive off a bit of the humidity.
Yeah. Just evaporate it out a little bit. But then again, Simon, this is also a good solution. We're more than happy to supply. I believe we've got a reasonable number of these, don't we, Damo?
Not a great deal. I seriously think we might be down to like our last 7 to 12 of these left.
Oh, right. Okay. So we've moved a few then, or else you've been using
They've
them
been,
to...
they've been a consistent seller.
Yeah, okay.
Not one here, one there.
Sure.
They
Good
seem
over
to be
time.
a
Yeah.
popular one.
Well, I've got to say, it hasn't built much in intensity. Loving the flavors, not a lot of journey. There's been that slight step up that we talked about, that dark dried fruit sort of step. Hasn't really done anything since.
Little bit of a vegetal note coming in for me as well at the moment.
Well, it looks like there might be a bit of a fight going to develop over the remaining stock. From our point of view, that's a good problem to have. So, fight, 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 fight.
It's a bit like cooked fennel. That slight vegetal note that I'm picking up on.
Yeah, it's there. For me, it's almost the lingering aftertaste after something like a pickled gherkin or something like that. It's sort of the aftertaste after the vinegar.
Yeah.
I kind of think I want to recut this already. I've only got a tiny little hole there. But I'm afraid that if I do, I'm going to drop my ash, and then I'm never going to hear the end of it from Omar. It's just going to give me a hard time for the rest of my life for that time I drop the ash. How are we going with the cloud hoppers, Damo? We've got a few more of those.
Sorry?
The cloud hopper.
Yes, I think. Actually, I believe there might be an almost full box up there, if not a full box.
Nice. It's just I was chatting with Tim. He was having a cigar with me today, and he's certainly enjoying his cloud hoppers.
Actually, it wouldn't be full because I did ship out a few orders in the last week or two with some in it. So,
Yeah, okay.
but yeah.
$30 cigars should get you to the end of the week, Stuart. That's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't get Omar to the end of his drive.
I reckon you know what we need to do? We need to attach like a turbine that generates electricity from the smoke from his cigars.
Australia's energy problems would be solved.
Solved instantly. Instantly.
Solved.
Yeah. Tim likes his cloud hoppers, no doubt about it.
They're very good cigars.
They are. They're very good cigars. I mean, if you're going to pick a cigar to be mad about, that's a pretty good one to pick because they're relatively cost effective too.
Yep.
I'm going to say something weird. And you know it's going to be weird because I always say things that are weird and I don't warn you first. I feel like this is a very thoughtful cigar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cigar that just makes you want to think. You wouldn't understand, Omar, but Damo, you might.
Genius. That is actually genius.
Steve Sarker just he doesn't make a cigar for the sake of making a cigar. Like he puts a lot of effort into making cigars, and he throws away a lot of blends and stuff that he comes up with just because he's got such a high benchmark and they don't meet the minimum requirement in his standards, which would exceed many manufacturers' standards.
Sure.
He's particularly fussy with his own cigars, and I think, you know, this just stands testament to that.
That's a word that I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got some other ones of his that I got in the end of last year to try. I've got this is the Sobremesa, and then he's got one which is the Sobremesa Brulee, which is a sweeter blend. People actually believe that he sweetened the tobacco somehow artificially because it's such a sweet stick. Then he's got a limited run, which is the Brulee Blue. I ordered some Brulee Blue. I also ordered some. What else did I order? So I got the Brulee Blue. I got the Sin Compromiso. And I think I got some other ones of his. I'm just having a look. So I got the Sin Compromiso. Muestra de Saca is another one that I got. I also got the Stillwell Star 2022, which has been getting a lot of remarks.
Stillwell
well.
Star. It just makes me think of a bicycle, a Malvern Star. Like it's back in the 1990s when everybody wanted a Malvern Star, and then I think of Bib Stillwell, like the car guy. Like it's just, these are not words that should be associated with a cigar.
Well, unfortunately, Simon, I only bought a couple for sampling purposes. I didn't actually buy inventory of those particular sticks because I generally like to try before committing to bringing in a few boxes of something.
Well, Simon's putting his hand up for everything that you're talking about. Tell you what, Simon, we're just going to have to organize a dinner date between you and Damo.
That's it.
Yeah, come and woo me, and you might get a couple of sticks out of me. That's what Omar does all the time. He promises me the earth, and I never get anything. Mind you, so far I've got an IOU from Omar for his heart, both lungs, the kidney, the spleen, the gallbladder. As I say, the liver, the kidney. Yeah, I've said the kidneys as well. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, he's already hocked both testes as well. So
you love those. You would love those.
You should just start collecting, just one bit at a time. Maybe start with the heart and then come back for the
I
liver later.
could build my own Omar, bit like an IKEA.
Frankenstein's monster. Can't be any worse.
Wonder if he comes with one of those little Allen keys I can use to put him all together.
And that key in the back that you go to wind it back up again.
Well, Simon, I almost bought some of the unicorns, but even the so they're $100 US retail. Wholesale's just a tad over $70 US a stick.
Oh, that's
which
nuts.
at the time, with the exchange rate back then, was about $110, $112 a stick.
Wholesale.
Plus shipping, plus taxes.
Plus taxes, yeah. How big are they?
Hang on. He doesn't have that one on his website.
Well, if it's a unicorn by definition, it's supposed to be hard to find. So, wow, guys, that was funny. Clearly, I don't pay you enough.
Clearly.
Let's say Torpedo.
Simon's chimed in. It's kind of a perfecto size in its own coffin, but it's definitely a hype cigar. They're pretty hard to get now.
Yeah. They're 6 1/4 by 60.
Okay, so they're not ridiculously massive. I mean, that's a chunky ring gauge, but that's not ridiculous.
Yeah, I sort of figured a 60 ring gauge by 6 1/4, and he likes to pack his cigars quite firm. I was like, it's probably going to be like $40 of bloody tobacco tax on that when it lands.
Yeah. So with shipping, tax, and then the cost at $70 US, it arrives in Australia at about 160 to 170 Australian dollars.
That's what I figured.
Right, and then we'd have to sell it for 200 and something.
220. 210, 220.
Yeah, too much. Simon's got a suggestion to fix it for us. Hi, cigar pack number 10 is only with 2 sticks. Yeah, a unicorn and the smallest Toscano you can get your hands on. Or, no. A unicorn and a wee Willem.
Or no, unicorn and one of those Gurkhas that's ridiculously expensive as well.
Goodness, you're trying to bankrupt the company? I do find.
By the way,
Daniel,
we put the pack price up to $1,000 and you get 2 sticks.
Daniel, I do find that torpedoes do tend to have more rings. I think it's something about the combination of good smoke production and a relatively small aperture, such as changes how you smoke it somehow.
My heart bleeds for you, Topher. It's a good fucking story, but people seem to have rings in everything and anything they do when they do. So fucking just chill.
I have yet to see
Don't
you blow
try
a
to
single.
act like you know something, but
I have yet to see you blow a single ring, and no, I'm not accepting your invite to Damo's house next week.
I'll bring Cigar Man Sam. He blows ring in anything and everything, in every puff. Yeah, exactly. So just don't act like you know something.
You and your boyfriend. You've always got to stick up for your boyfriend.
Seriously.
Nathan, how are you?
Nathan just got back from the States, so that's why we had been missing him a bit. He's back. I'm happy he's back. It's good.
Welcome.
Man.
Bet he was enjoying quite a few affordable sticks over there.
Yeah. Look, a lot of Plancicias.
See, the thing for me next time I go to the US is because I think in terms of what we pay here in Australia, I'd be walking into half of these cigar shops and just saying, "What's your most expensive stick?" Because it'd still feel cheap compared to Australia, with a few exceptions, obviously.
Yeah.
Nathan sounds like he's got some stories to tell.
I actually, a friend of mine in America for Christmas present, I actually bought him a box of the High Clear Castle Coronas in the Connecticut, and they've also come out with a new blend over the COVID time in a Maduro as well.
Okay.
So I bought him a box of each. He said they were very, very good, but he said, "Oh, gee, they're expensive sticks, but not by our standards, nowhere near close."
So, Daniel, I don't think I told you.
Down here.
Yeah, we can hear it. I don't think I told you, Daniel.
Bring the microphone a bit closer so you can hear me better.
We've decided not to move to Albury, Daniel. It's nothing to do with my inadequacy and my fear of competition or anything like that. I wouldn't want you to get that impression. It's just, I just can't handle that kind of negativity. That's all.
Oh, Topher, got a tough life.
Oh, it's hard being precious. Hard work. Awesome.
Don't say that too loud, Daniel. The government will use that as another excuse to crack down on vaping.
Yeah.
See, there's just as many rings in vapes as there is in cigarettes.
You know what? I would love to have that in Hansard. I would love to have a politician standing up and saying that on the floor of Parliament. Getting a little bit hot on the fingers.
Very nice so far.
Just sizing up my pipe here. Oh, yeah. One of the upsides of a Torpedo is it'll fit in almost any pipe.
Any pipe, yeah, absolutely. It reminds me, not the flavor so much, but from transition and kind of a burn thing as well, because my burn is not perfect. A lot of the Cuban cigars, for some reason, it doesn't have a transition. It holds its flavors, which is not a bad thing to me.
No, it's not bad at all.
You got a transition. No, it doesn't have to be. It holds its flavors. It's very subtle. It's very soft. It's not aggressive. Very nice cigar.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
A lot of the Cubans, I think H. Upman's have somewhat similar profiles. It's nice.
We talk about cigars that demand your attention. We talk about cigars that are, for when you're doing yard work or playing golf or that sort of thing. This sits in a different place again. The cigar itself doesn't demand your attention, but it's the kind of cigar that you want to have when you can just sit and contemplate. It's not like the cigar wants your attention, but it just makes you want to sit and think.
I can give you some caffeine, Daniel. You could blend some caffeine in with that to cut it out a bit longer.
Yeah.
Well, Stuart, I'm really sorry, mate. It seems like you've gotten one that's got some sort of a construction issue. It was plugged to start with, and now it's not burning well. I'm sorry, mate, but it does happen, unfortunately. It's a handmade product, and sometimes.
How's David? Is he back yet?
No, David's going to be gone for a little while yet.
Oh,
He's
really?
he's on a cruise, literally circumnavigating South America.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've gone up sort of like Guatemala and all of that sort of side. They've just gone through the Panama Canal, and they're now going to be heading down the West Coast, I guess it must be.
Nice.
I think what's that sort of Ecuador and is it Chile and Argentina eventually down the bottom, and then up Brazil
Nice.
and all that. Yeah.
Very scenic.
Mm. Hey, Stuart, just FYI, I invited myself and Winston and the rest of the family to the birthday outing between your girls and Tim's kids on the 28th. So just saying, you might need to, I don't know, stock up on alcohol or something that you can drink before you have to put up with me for a few hours.
That leather note's becoming not quite a soft leather, a bit more dominant for me now.
The flavor profile's picked up again. It's moved into leathers and earth tones. That fruity twist for me has died away, and it's moved into more just earth tones.
There's a bit of a mulchiness to it as well.
Yeah. It's sort of heavy flavors. It's not a heavy cigar, but the flavor profile has gone heavy.
Yep.
Sadly.
Which is what I was saying early on in the beginning, that, you know, a lot of cigars by Steve Sarkis start off really soft and gentle, and they do ramp up in their flavor.
Right. I said at the outset, you know, you could have convinced me that it was a Connecticut if I was blindfolded, but not anymore.
Yeah.
It's mixing perfectly with my candle thing here, and that's the two of my favorite things: tobacco and honey. Amazing. That's mixing up. What a blend.
Who lights an aromatic candle when they're smoking a cigar? Like, what kind of a psychopath do you have to be?
Well, he smokes so many cigars, he needs something to create differentiation between them, you know?
Yeah. He just switches out the candles. Next, he's going to be laying a path of rose petals.
Simon, you know what? I'm
getting cedar on the foot smoker too.
This guy speaks my language. Simon, you and I, we on the same page. We speak the same language, dude. Yes, sir.
See, Tim was saying to me today that we really need a woman on the Cigar Professor, which is why after I showed the world me getting a pedicure, he was keen to plug me into that particular role. But I think we've got a new contender. I think the person smoking cigars to the aroma of aromatic candles has made a good case for yourself there.
Say no more. Just look at the Cigar Professors. I mean, and we have the answer.
Have you never heard of a bearded lady?
I've been looking at.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Don't need to go to a circus, just watch Cigar Professor.
Watch the Cigar Professor. These days, circuses are expensive. This is almost cheaper.
You don't see as many. I saw one the other day up around Gosford when I was driving up around there.
There's at least one, if not possibly two, or I don't know, maybe more, but there's at least one that tours Victoria pretty consistently. And sets up. There's a particular park in Beaconsfield and Narre Warren, somewhere in that area, and we see it from time to time. Haven't gone in. I'm too scared of the
I doubt it's the circus. I doubt it's the circus we grew up with as kids.
Oh, well, these days they're not allowed to do most of the things that circuses used to be. The whole reason you went to a circus back then was all the stuff that's banned now.
Like throwing knives at scantily clad ladies tied to a board.
That wasn't a circus. That was just a Friday night.
Oh, right. And the clown's walking around, swigging from a bottle marked XXXX.
Which probably had real alcohol in it, because how else do you cope with that life?
Exactly.
Man, I'm satisfied.
Fuck.
What a satisfying stick.
You're easily pleased, dude.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes that's a virtue, Omar. The ability to be happy.
We know you're the happiest person we ever met. All we have to fucking do is watch Cigar Professor and you're whining from start to finish about
That's
something.
Yeah. It's my nickname. When you're not calling me Professor Tofu, you call me Happy.
Happy.
Yeah. One of the seven dwarves.
Yeah.
So we've got a bearded lady. We've got a dwarf. What are you, Damo?
I do not know.
Oh, hey,
He's
beautiful.
neat. That's who he is. He's a philosopher. He's the truly frightening part of the circus. Stands up in the middle and gives everyone an existential crisis.
I'm the one that fires the people out of the cannon.
True, actually. You've got the pyrotechnical background. Starting to get warm on the fingers. I think this one's going to end up in the pipe, boys.
Yeah.
Daniel, you're correct, but he also makes a better bearded lady, and we can't let him have all the jobs. So, you know.
But does anyone have a dwarf bearded lady?
There's a good question. The show's probably going to get. We're going to get cancelled now just for having this conversation.
After I drop my ash, it feels that it has very dark, mulchy, vegetative, earthy tones now.
That might also be where you're up to in the cigar. A combination of the two, probably.
Sure.
Stuart, no one likes to show off. Mind you, you haven't got much to show off. So you know what? In your case, I'll make an exception. Daniel, which one was that? I know my Lord of the Rings lore pretty well, and I can't think off the top of my head. 7-foot dwarf. Doesn't ring a bell. A dwarf giant.
Still getting fleeting flavors like that. Just then I got a reminiscent bit of the dark fruit note. 1 or 2 puffs before it, I got a bit of the cinnamon baked spice note again. So it's sort of fleetingly revisiting the flavors that were early on in the stick.
Its life is flashing before its eyes as it comes to an end.
Yes.
Have you ever stopped to think how dumb it is?
How's that ash?
That is gorgeous. You got to tap that ash. Have you ever stopped to think how dumb it is that humans spent the time that we spent to figure out how to smoke tobacco? You know, growing it, cultivating it, harvesting it at the right times, fermenting it, aging it, rolling it, the blends, all of that. Like, the amount of human lifetimes that just went into building up the knowledge to be able to do this is absurd.
I'm just
Sorry,
gonna
that's my
Well, I look at it like the didgeridoo. I mean, who thought to get a hollow trunk of a tree filled with, it's been eaten out by white ants, get rid of all the crap in it, cut it off at the right length, put beeswax on it so you can make a seal on your mouthpiece, and then blow a raspberry down it while you're sucking air in through your nose. I mean,
it's pretty.
you've got to have an awful lot of time on your hands to even come up with
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Or just to figure out the aerodynamics of a boomerang, to get to the point where they could
Oh.
figure out what they had to do to make it, and then how they had to throw it. Like that's a phenomenal piece of engineering.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like they just would have picked up a bent stick and thrown it and had it come back and go, oh, we can improve on this, because no bent stick just thrown like that would ever do that.
No.
So,
Yeah.
Omar, you were going to say something a second ago. I'm assuming it was intelligent, but you never know.
If it was intelligent, look, it would be way above you. So
Probably.
yeah. So now I was just
You go.
there's nothing important. I was just following up on what you said about the stick. Ooh, that was almost a ring.
Almost, he says. Almost. You're just jealous.
Almost.
You're just jealous. See, the nice thing, Omar, just following up on what you said about it being over my head, the nice thing about being as dumb as me is that you can't comprehend how dumb you are, so you don't feel dumb.
Yeah.
Right?
But you do.
No, I don't. I feel perfectly intelligent. It's you've just, if you're going to be dumb, you've got to make sure you get below that threshold where you're capable of comprehending how dumb you are, and then you're good.
Exactly. You have no idea what I said. Topher. Almost
I've got a friend who lives with the dread of the thought of losing his marbles when he gets really old. And he goes, oh, I hope someone puts me out of my misery when I get to that stage. And I just keep saying to him, don't worry, when you get to that stage, you won't know any better anyway.
That's right. You won't be aware.
Is it going in the pipe all right?
It's in, but I feel like it hasn't sealed. I feel like it's letting air in somewhere. That's better.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
But thank you. Oh, there you go. I was wrong.
You're welcome.
I was just going to say it's giving me reminiscent thoughts of the 1979. The
Yeah.
Rocky Patel. That really nice, bold flavor, earthy, leathery sort of note.
It's certainly having a similar effect in that sense of just you've smoked a cigar. I talk about the 1979. That's the cigar. That's the cigar that cigars would smoke if cigars could smoke cigars. It's like you've had a cigar, and I think this is having a similar effect. Stuart, it's not a green whistle, all right? It doesn't work that way. How good are the green whistles? Seriously.
I've only got about 14 of them in my first aid kit.
I'd be having them recreationally if I were you.
The worst thing was I actually got to go for a tour over the factory that manufactures those. and they produce the raw material in bulk batches, and then they pack it down. And they had 44-gallon drums of the stuff that they package into the 3 ml vials, and I was just like, how much for one of them?
You would literally kill yourself. Like that's, yeah, wow. Yes, John Rhys Davies in real life was 7 foot. Yes, sorry, I thought you meant that he was 7 foot within the lore of Lord of the Rings. But yes, John Rhys Davies was 7 foot, which saved them a lot of money, by the way, because they were budgeting. They were thinking they were going to have to build 3 sets, one in Hobbit size, one in dwarf size, and one in human/elf size. And because they managed to get a dwarf that was so tall, then they were able to put him next to the hobbits, and it worked. Probably helped by the fact that those actors were quite short.
Simon asked or commented about the 1979. Simon, that was the Cameroon wrapper, not the Corojo.
Actually, I think we still definitely got 1 box of those still. Yes, I need to do a stock take soon.
Daniel, I question your correction. You're going to get me Googling now. I'm pretty sure John Rhys Davies is taller than 6'1". Only 1.85 meters. There you go. Well, I always thought he was taller than that. Joke's on me.
He could probably wear those platform shoes.
Yeah, but he was tall enough compared to the Elijah Wood and so forth that played the Hobbits. That they saved themselves a massive amount of budget. This is working well in the pipe. I'm liking this.
How good is that ash?
Oh, shut up.
Good. It's very good. Holds it really well. It's a bit wonky, but it still holds it well that far.
I'm just gonna
that fennel note's just freshened up a little bit. So instead of being sort of like a wilted, sautéed sort of fennel, it's becoming a little bit fresher for me now. A little bit crisp.
Just got to do something here for a second. Just give me a sec. There we go. That's better. I'm getting just a little bit of a nicotine hit. Are you getting that at all?
No.
Fine. Oh, all right. I'll let them back on. Far out, the things I suffer.
Hey, why does he get to be in the middle again?
All right, fine. You gave me plume. There you go.
Thank you.
Little things that makes people happy.
I like to be the center of attention.
You would know, Omar, about little things.
I see that.
You remember that news report like years and years ago? They were talking about the ashes. Do you remember that one? And the news reporters talking about the ashes because the actual real ashes are only thing, and it's like I can't believe. I can't remember the exact words, but it was something like, I can't believe how there's so big a fuss made over something that's so small. And then they cut back to the lady who's the desk host, and she just sort of said, "You'd know about that, whatever his name is." That was the best burn ever. Absolutely.
And of course, he can't reply because they've already cut away from him.
Exactly. Yeah, that was just an absolute classic.
Good thing about
Good
the
vintage,
RP.
Simon. Very good vintage.
Yeah, the 79 is that the wrapper to back was actually from 79. Yep, hence the name of it. A word of warning, though, not all cigars are named thus. You'll buy a cigar with a year on it. Doesn't always mean the tobacco is from that year. Had a bunch of bales that ended up getting wrapped around younger leaves. So you're literally smoking something from when I was born. My only issue with the RP79 is that wrapper, being as old as it is a bit fragile, which I do tend to find with people from 79 as well. They're just getting a bit fragile in their old age. Isn't that right, Damo?
Might be fragile, but I tell you what, stacking dimes here.
It's like that's literally the only achievement in your life. Like you're just banging on about it. Look, 82 was better, but we can still gang up on the 79ers.
Yeah, but we just managed to scrape it into the 70s before things went downhill.
Nah, you 70s people think you're cooler than you are. Have you seen the fashion from the 70s? Like, seriously. What were you thinking?
Well, it was improvement on the 60s.
Uh-oh, the 83s are starting to gang up on us. I might have to join forces with the 79s soon. And for not a particularly big cigar, we're already well over an hour, 5 minutes of burn time.
Yeah, it's about an hour plus.
Yeah. And I mean, I could have smoked mine slower. I was definitely smoking it faster than I could have. You've got a bit of user error going on there, Damo. Sorry, an uneven burn. Sorry, I misspoke.
I was hoping it would. I was hoping it was going to catch up a little bit, but it didn't.
Yeah, these sticks were heavy. Mine heavier than yours, clearly. Are we still talking about the cigars? I'm not clear on what we're discussing now. Yeah, definitely not talking about cigars.
It's nothing like finishing a cigar with full ash like last week someone did till the end.
Going back to your glory days, are you?
Nothing like it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. We saw it. That's fine, dude. It's okay.
I reckon that should count for 2 weeks, that one.
Keep dreaming. Nothing like a full ash on your lap at the end. The only thing better is a full ash on your keyboard. That's an occupational hazard of cigar professors. We've always got our laptops right in front of us.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I've learned to put a good 14 inches between me and the laptop.
Yeah.
Very warm. Very, very warm. Hard to smoke.
Got to get yourself a pipe.
Not a pipe person, dude.
I wasn't either. I tried this so many times as a pipe. Couldn't get the hang of it. Didn't like it. But I've just recently started using it like this again, and now I'm quite a fan.
You know what's better than that is the cigar holders for 2 or 3 different sizes, and Bob's your uncle.
I do have an Uncle Bob. You're right.
A lot more vegetative since the ash dropped.
That's probably also just how far through we are. I was about to comment. It's Someone mentioned earlier that fresh, crunchy kind of vegetative sort of note definitely coming through now. There's even almost a celery. There's almost a clean vegetative note starting to come in over the top now.
Daniel made a very interesting point. Daniel, you might have to go to a veggie shop and maybe familiarize yourself with veggie note is and get back to us.
Yeah.
Until that time.
Yeah.
Boom.
Wow, Omar, thank you for that deep insight. Also, can you learn how to drive? You just put the comment back up again. There we go. Oh no. Looks like we'll have to finish now.
I
thought
on that bombshell.
Yeah, I thought I'd kept you long enough, Tim, that you wouldn't be able to join us. Looks like I miscalculated. Good to see you got home safe.
That leather's gone soft again for me too. Yeah, well, I don't know how many I've got left, but I think I've got somewhere between half a dozen and a dozen of these still in my own private humidor at home. So,
ooh, hello. Stuart, if you bring your nub, I'll bring mine.
actually, Omar was making the comment the other day. The one thing that we definitely have both noticed on the 20th anniversary sticks compared to the 10 is that they're a slower burn.
Yeah.
Much slower burn, substantially.
I still prefer the 10th.
I used to be like that. After I had a few of the 20, I just, yeah. Look, there's a difference between the 10th and the 20th. The 10th is that it's an everyday type of smoke. It's nice, it's chilled, it's relaxing. And 20 year is a more of a serious smoke. And it's definitely not for a beginner. But I think if I have to have that, most times I'll go 10th champagne. It's a staple thing. But to enjoy it every now and then, I think it's a 20.
Well, I think this is starting to go out on me. I'm close to having burnt all the way down.
Yeah.
I've actually got some 20th anniversary Maduros in an Epicure, which is a 6x56 that I purchased back in 2017. Still in my humidor.
How many you got?
When Omar asks that question, the answer is, oh, none. Sorry, I miscalculated.
I've never met a human whose humidor grows substantially and the guy doesn't smoke anything. It's like a whole bucket.
Somebody's going to be very, very lucky when I pass away.
Nah, you're gonna smoke it before you pass away. I'll pray for you.
No, I probably still keep acquiring cigars until then. So
Don't be a hoarder. Smoke them, dude. I had a funny experience with Cigar Man Sam. Went to his house. He said, "Oh, you gotta look at my collection." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I'm like smoking cigars. Yeah, whatever you have." He opens up an Esky, like a monster Esky. Like, yeah, that's a decent collection. That's almost like demos. It's nothing. And then we was chatting. He goes, "Oh, I'll have to show you my actual collection as well." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So he opens up this huge cigar cabinet like thing, which has no shelves in it, just Tupperware after Tupperware after Tupperware. I don't know how many thousand cigars were in that fucking thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? A Tupperware, a big Tupperware of Behikis, for example. Like, who the fuck does that? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Cigar Man Sam, obviously.
Yeah.
Getting right down to the business end here, I can tell you.
Ditto.
James, have you ever had 20th anniversary Connecticut?
Surely you would have.
Can't. I don't think I have actually.
I don't think he has.
Oh.
I think I've got one in my humidor to try one day.
Hang on. Hold the phone. There's a Perdomo cigar that you haven't had?
Just a few I haven't had.
Nick been holding out on you or what?
We're not talking about Nick's own cigar.
We know he's had that. I'm just saying, like, you know. Yeah.
Oh, he had that several times. That's one cigar that never goes off.
That's why I'm amazed that Nick's been holding out on him. I just thought, you know, he would have owed him a few favors.
Actually, the one that I've got, it is. I'm not sure. It's either a Gordo or a Churchill. It's either a 6x60 or a 7x56.
Not sure, Daniel. Shouldn't be too long. We should be up there again in the not too distant future, but not sure. You still going, Omar?
I'm almost done. It's just very little and trying to hold on to it.
Same. So what's that? About an hour 20?
Yeah, hour 15 easy.
Not bad for such a short stick.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
The fact that they've called it a short torpedo, does that mean they've got a full-size torpedo in the same blend?
Yes. The only thing is that I do believe that Steve Sarkar doesn't make the blends consistent across the Vitola range. He's one of these guys that likes to make each individual cigar blended specific to that Vitola.
Yeah, okay.
So it's tweaked, from what I understand, to be the best for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. If he's
It's
that precise
it's large.
about
It's I believe it's largely the same blend, but it's not the exact
mix.
same blend, just made in different sizes.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
There was a ghost of rings past in that last one you just did.
Yeah, I'm not getting much smoke out of it now. Most of the tobacco is burnt. It's mostly just ash in the bowl now.
Yep.
Very
Yeah,
satisfying
done.
cigar. Very
I'm
satisfying.
going to get beyond
cigar.
that.
Well, that was
Stick.
delightful. Yeah, very, very good stick. Well, that was the Cigar Professor. And if you want to get your hands on our dwindling supply of DTT or DDT, no, DTT, isn't it?
Yep.
Short torpedoes, Sobremesa short torpedoes, you'll need to send us a message pretty quickly. I have a feeling that they're going to disappear pretty fast. All right, I hate it when you get to the very end and all the goodness goes from the inside out.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what you're referring to there.
Sorry, though.
Just trying to pull up our So we got next week. We've got the Underground Shade Connecticut Corona Pequena.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. All right, well, that was week 6 of Pack 9. We're almost halfway. Next week is halfway through Pack 9 of the Cigar Professor. Damo, when do we start telling everyone about what our plans are for Pack 10?
I would probably say next week.
Yeah? All right, let's update everyone next week on what's happening for Pack 10. Omar, Tim just wished you a good night.
Tim?
And with that, we will end the show. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week where we'll tell you all about the plans for Pack number 10.